Now, as the last child with four sisters and two brothers, and someone who was serially molested and abused from the age of 8 to about 12 years old, I struggled with a low self-esteem, fueled mainly by the fact that I was the tallest girl in my whole school. Daniel Humorous can bear witness to that. We went to secondary school together for a bit. Tallest girl in the school, skinniest girl in the school as well. I dealt with, low self-esteem, mood swings, and all kinds of things. But the fact that I'm here today as a quintessential master of ceremonies is even amazing to me. And it's not something that I can brag about. It's just something that humbles me every single time. To think of the struggles that I've had to overcome and to think of the accomplishments that I have today, it's amazing. Today I want to talk on the power of community, networking, and collaboration for success. Now, my brother Samuel has done a phenomenal job, but I want to look at the things or the reasons people struggle to collaborate, or why collaborating and networking appears to be very difficult for a lot of people. All right? Now, the first thing that I find that people struggle with when it comes to collaborating is trust issues. Now, you want to come out from nowhere and you want to collaborate with someone who does not know you. Someone who, if they look you up, they cannot find anything that they stand to gain from you. Trust issues. Now, over the last 10 years, I don't think I have made one outfit that I have worn for any event that I have hosted. What I'm wearing today also is one of such, outfits by one of Port Harcourt and Nigeria's finest designers, Bozillion. OBY is also wearing one of those outfits. The host is wearing one as well. Now, the CEO of Bozillion, Boma Ogidigben, and I went to the same secondary school. We're friends from GSS1. We're not friends per se, but we share a history. And both of us have watched each other from a distance grow. And so when it was time for us to collaborate, it made a lot of sense. And so we share platforms. She has her following on social media. I have mine, which is quite decent. And what we do is she gives me an outfit. I put it on for my event. I talk about it like I'm doing today. And I make a post on social media tagging her. Sometimes it's a collaboration post where, I'm sure a lot of you know what it means to collaborate on a post on social media. It's a new thing that, Instagram and the likes have brought on because they understand that sometimes more than one person can benefit from one post. As opposed to tagging, it now seems like more than one person made that post and it appears on your timeline. Now, that's what, many of the designers that I've worked with, have had to, we've had to share together. We collaborate. I take advantage of her audience because guess what? As an MC, when she and I collaborate on a post and people see that someone like this wears her outfit, right? What that does is it gives her some level of validation. It also gives me a level of validation. It makes me look good at my event, makes me very comfortable at my event. But then again, I'm sharing my audience. I'm introducing her to my audience. You understand? Yes. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Now, people can only trust you when they know you. I'm sure people have heard this saying that it is cooperation or collaboration I make pot of rice full. When you hear that saying, what do you think of? Do you think of white rice or you think of jollof rice? I need you to give me feedback. Do you think of white rice or you think of jollof rice? Cooperation I make pot of rice full. Is it white rice we're talking about or jollof rice? It's jollof rice, of course, because the tomato standing alone can do nothing. The shombo or the tatashe standing alone can do nothing. Even the rice that is the star of the meal is nothing without the combination of everything. Do you understand? So That's the second thing. The second thing brings me to my second point. Now, the second thing is conflicting goals and interests. When you're collaborating with someone, it's important that you know what both of you stand to gain. Where are you going with your brand? What do you want to achieve in the long run? In the end, 5 years, 10 years from now, what do you hope would be associated with your name being in alliance with so-and-so brand? Do you understand? Now let's move on to the next one now. Power struggle and hierarchy problems. Who go be point one? I remember back in the day here in UST, I studied mass communication and I graduated from UST here. Back then it was UST, but now River State University. And back then when we were writing exams, how you know that a point one is in that hall is the boys that will be standing outside, making sure that he writes the exams quietly, peacefully, without anybody coming into the hall to do anything funny with him. All right? So the point is, when you're collaborating with someone, it is important that you take away self, that ego tussle. Someone has to lead. My pastor, Pastor Larry, will always say, the person who is number one has a lot of things that they must face. So the first blow comes to the point one. Imagine if a rival cult comes into a hall and kills the point one of that cult group. What do you think happens? It will scatter. And so they must protect the point one. If you're going to collaborate with someone, you must be ready that just maybe point one will not be you. You must be okay with the idea of being number two. Because some of us are struggling. We want to be the star of the project. And then we let such a brilliant dream to just die. Do you understand? So you must be willing to step aside. For instance, we're here at TEDxDiobu. We know that the face of TEDxDiobu is K.O. Baba Johnson. But everyone here knows that there are people who have played a very crucial role. Without those people, this event will not happen. But guess who is the star of it? Is K.O. Baba. So if this event flops, who do you think they are going to? Who do you think they are going to point at? If this is a disaster, is K.O. Baba. No one is going to think about the fact that the mayor of Housing probably put a lot of money on this event. So you must be okay to be number two, but realize that it doesn't circumvent, it doesn't downgrade your input. It doesn't belittle the fact that you are playing a role that will be indispensable, or at least very important to see that that event or that project is actualized and is a success. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so conflicting values and beliefs. You, day your day, make I day my day. You see, sometimes when you are in a collaboration with someone, you will find along the way, maybe you don't see it initially, maybe you don't see it, from the lift off, but as you go along, you find that maybe your values and your beliefs are different. Even as an MC, right? One of the things that I see is sometimes I reject jobs. And you know why I do it is because, yes, I may just be the MC of the event. But you see, the fact that I'm on that stage validates or kind of tells or gives the impression that I am endorsing that program. So while I can say, oh, I am just an MC, I'm here to do my job and get paid and go. But the truth is, unconsciously, indirectly, I am endorsing the message that is coming from that stage. And so being a professional is a form of collaboration. Even though you're getting remuneration, not all money is good money for your brand. Not all money is good money. Some money will just be what you gain now, but in the end, it will affect your career. We live in River State. All of us, we know what happens in River State. Once you do a job for so-and-so side, they tick you as that. So you must be conscious, you must be cautious, and you must also pay attention for conflicting values and beliefs. Difficulty reaching consensus, I no go agree. So you have come to a table, you guys have made significant progress in that, in that project you want to do. And all of a sudden, one last thing, one last agreement, and both of you do not see eye to eye. Which brings me to the next one. You must be ready to compromise. In collaboration, you must be ready to compromise. As I said, you must be ready to be number two. And sometimes that number two position, you probably think that you're the one with the idea in the first place. It's your idea, but then guess what? The people who are bringing other things besides ideas who have connections. It's like Samuel said, you must be ready to take 10% or 20% of 100 million naira, as opposed to taking 100% of nothing. And that's where compromise comes in. All right? So, intellectual property and ownership, for people who are, in the creative industry where you don't necessarily touch the project, you cannot necessarily say, okay, this is the building, the land under the building, the person who owns the land owns the building, as they do. But when it comes to intellectual property, it is what you say, you can't touch it. It's intangible. And that is where the problem comes. A few weeks ago, you saw the video that trended of a certain producer who was talking about a certain gospel artist from, River State, how they did a lot of productions for her, and then they went there for him, and all the royalties that were supposed to be paid, and all of that. Now, these are some of the things that can happen when two of you are coming together, two or more people are coming together to collaborate on a project that is intangible, like creativity, like a song, like a book, right? There are several things. And these are things that will outlive you. Something can happen to a house and the house will crumble. Remember on Woji Road, there was a 7-story building that collapsed a few years ago. When you pass by that place, you don't know that anything like that was standing there. But that's not the same thing with intellectual property. It outlives you. So you must dot all the I's and cross all the T's. You must not leave room for any kinds of assumptions. You cannot leave room for, I thought that it was an unspoken code. I thought you were going to be a gentleman about it. So these are some of the challenges that people face when it comes to collaborating. So define your goals clearly. State what it is you want to do. State what it is that is going to benefit me. What are your expectations? State them. Effectively communicate, because sometimes a lot of people feel like, this is the thing, but communicating it effectively can be a problem to you. So state it. Some of us too are too timid. It's not that we don't know the words to use, but we are afraid of offending the person. Do you understand? You are afraid. You don't know what they will think of you. Communicate effectively. State it in black and white, because see, you're small today, you're not going to be small forever. All right? You're not going to be small forever. Clearly define your roles. Who is going to do what? Who is going to be what? Define them. And then finally, the willingness to adapt to change. Adapt. The willingness to adapt. You must be willing to compromise. All right? One of the things that you will learn very quickly in collaboration is that you don't know everything. And you must know that you don't know everything. All right? Know that you don't know everything. Be humble about the fact that you don't know everything, but be willing to collaborate with someone. And here's the thing. Don't be in a hurry to collaborate with the big people. On your level right now, find someone who is doing something that you cannot do, but that you need for where you're going. Collaborate with your classmates. At the moment, if you want to collaborate with people who are higher, offer your services for free. I cannot count how many times I have offered my services. I'll tell you the first time I ever stood on a stage to MC an event. It was an event organized by Madam Ibinabo Fiberesima, and I always talk about it. I don't even know how she thought I was going to, do that event. But she gave me a platform quite like this, and I amazed myself even. So for many years after that, I kept giving my services for free. I emceed friends' weddings. Even till today, I still offer my services. One person who at this point I feel like has used my virtue so much is Keo Baba, because we have collaborated on several events, and he has never paid me. You see, but the truth of the matter is, we have created some amazing projects together, right? We have created some incredible things together. And you must always be open to collaborate. Again, alone, you can go fast. But together, you will go far. Nobody ever achieved anything without collaborating with someone. Thank you so much.